My name's Juan Gallardo, Juangallardo, and I'm the Wasco High wrestling coach here in Wasco.
Could you tell us your relation to the family?
I'm the wrestling coach. Joe wrestled for me and Hector wrestled for me. Joe wrestled for me for 4 years, and Hector wrestled for me for 3 years.
And which one was Joe? The one that was passed, and Hector?
Yeah. So Joe is, they call him Jose, but Joe was the 24-year-old, and then Hector was the 21-year-old who wasn't there, who was at Big Bear at the time.
So for Joe, who had passed away, could you describe who he was as a person?
Okay, so Joe as a person he was a solid kid, loved to work out, very soft tempo. He didn't like to stir the pot. He was a tough kid. He wrestled any weight I asked him to. He was a 2-time league champ for us. He's a 4-time league place for us. He made it to the Masters, lost to a PHS kid to make it to state. But his personality was just, I tell him here, be at 4 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? He was at the wrestling room at 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're jumping up at midnight, and his mom was there, just like, come on, let's go. And just a great kid, and I can't believe this is happening to this town. But what I can say about this town, I'm very proud of this town, and all these people stepping up, people donating to the 2 young girls and Hector, and I know that they're put away right now. They don't want to be in the media or any of that kind of stuff right now. But they just told the girls not too long ago, so now they're dealing with that kind of stuff right now.
So you've talked to the families, to Hector and.
I have not talked to Hector. Hector's staying away. I'm talking to another source, but I have not talked to Hector. But I will be hopefully probably in the next week or so.
And you coached Joe if he was 24, about 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago. I coached him, and then his brother Hector came into the program right after that. So I took him to Reno. They've been to Reno trips with us, been to Vegas, Bakersfield, San Jose. I mean, anywhere that we can wrestle, they were there.
Take us into the mood of the community right now. Everyone you're talking to, are they still in shock? Is it sorrow? Is it anger? Is it confusion?
You know what? I think right now a lot of it is we're asking why, and because they were a quiet family. They weren't out in front. They were just stand back offs. They were, I even met the father a few times. The mother was super nice. She was an awesome lady. Every time, okay, come on, coach. The boys are coming. Those guys type of things. Very nice, comfortable people. They weren't out in front. They were just laid back and relaxed people. So, but the community, as far as they're asking why, what's going on, because they were not up front. They weren't out there very much. So, but yeah, it's confusing. It is confusing. Why is this happening to us?
And what were your thoughts of tonight? So, of either the words of speakers that spoke or just the turnout? I mean, I'd say eyeballing, if you look at the people across the street, down the street, we had 300 to 500 people tonight.
Yeah, you know what? It just shows you how tight this community is. I mean, everybody says that, right? No matter what town you're in or where you at, everybody says it's tight. But, Wasco is a small, special little town. And we're small. We're not big. The student body is growing. We have grown a lot in the past 10 years. I mean, before we have a student body of graduating 280 kids, 230 kids. Now we're graduating 400 kids. So the student body grows, over 500 kids are graduating now. So the town is growing in a positive way. We deal with a lot of at-risk kids here. So that's its own beast itself, but it's an honor to work with these type of kids. It's awesome.
Is there anything else that you want to add?
I just think what we need right now, what this town needs is, if you believe it or not, but there's power in prayer. So if you're out there listening to this, we're just telling you just pray for us, pray for the family, pray for Hector, and then pray for the two young girls, and then pray for the girlfriends who were in the house at the time who got out. So I mean they're dealing with emotionals too with everything going on. They just keep Wasco in prayer.
And last question, obviously we've been talking to you about Wasco and the family here involved, but talk to me briefly about Deputy Campos, who was celebrated today, as a hero, as well as Deputy Guerrero, who thankfully is still alive.
Yeah, man, it's amazing what those men do. Day in and day out, like they protect us. When it gets dark, those guys protect us, and people are giving police a bad name right now, and that's false. Yeah, you're right. They're not perfect. We feed our flesh. We're all bad in a way, but when there's a gunfight, they're running to it, man, and to protect them, to go in knowing that there was a potential, right? There was a potential of someone still alive, and that's why they went in there, right? And to try to save that one or two victims, whatever the situation it was. But I mean, I can't even imagine what the mother of the fallen victim is going through, and they got two kids. They're going to go up without a dad. You know what I mean? That's sad, and but they're going to remember this. They're going to grow up and read this one day, and understanding that soldier, that officer lost his life here in Wasco on First Street, right? So, and he'd been across seas and didn't lose his life, but he comes to a small town and he lost his life because of a foolish man at the time. So.
And you knew Joe. Last question. You knew Joe. So how did that feel? Like, did anything go through your head? Like, how you thought? Like, how did it feel knowing that he was in that house?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I thought Joe would make it out. He's that tough. I can't explain it enough. Like, if anybody's gonna make it, I thought he would do it. Because when you coach wrestling, you're looking in a kid's eyes in a mat situation, and they're back against the wall, and they fight out of that situation, and they win. Not many kids do wrestling. When you have a kid who can look in the eye and says, "Yes, coach, I can do it," you always have faith in a kid who can accomplish anything in life, right? I mean, he was 24 years old and started his own business. How many 24-year-olds knows who does that? Or how many men who do that? Not many. So that just tells you what kind of character he was on stepping up and doing that. My first instinct was, man, he can make it out of there. Come on, I hope it's not him. All those things went into my head. And I find out it was him in the house, and then we end up losing him. Yeah, we're at the wrestling community. That Coach Keesaw from Fresno called me up, texted me, hey, prayers. Coaches from Bakersfield texted me, prayers with you guys. So it's just the wrestling community is shocked.
And what was his business?
He owned a smogging. Him and his girlfriend owned a smogging business, and
Wow, that is very heavy. I didn't know that you knew that he was in there while it was happening, while the standoff was happening.
Well, Joe's going to run towards the fire. I mean that's he's that personality. He's quiet. He's a quiet kid. He's a quiet young man now. He's not. He works out every morning here in Wasco. So he's a good man. I was blessed and honored to be around him. It was awesome.